Hey everybody, Mike McWilliams, Upstairs to the Right Music Channel. Thank you so much for joining in today to the program. A little bit of housekeeping as usual before we get started. We have a live show that we do every Sunday night, 11 p.m. Central European Time, called Sunday at Mike's. We discuss a wide range of topics and it's a lot of fun. A lot of people are joining in and I'd like to see you join in as well. So if you have the time, 11 p.m. Central European Time, wherever that finds you in your part of the world, a morning, afternoon, or evening, I'd love it if you had time to join in. Also, starting February 1st on this channel, there will be an increase in the amount of shorts that I will be putting out. So keep an eye out for my shorts. I'm sure you'll find them entertaining. I'm going to try to keep those humorous, actually. I think that's the value of shorts, is humor. I'd like to talk today about guitars. Specifically, I'd like to talk about why it is that I don't play Stratocasters. I get that question actually a lot more these days now that the channel is growing. And people are looking at the guitars that I'm covering, like Telecasters like this one, and a lot of Les Pauls, even now a 335. That we've gone through. Actually, we've gone through almost every model, P90s, Juniors, Les Paul Juniors. We've had every guitar on this channel you could think of with the exception of Strats. And why is that? Well, the truth of the matter is that I don't really gravitate towards Strats for one main reason. And this is my reason, and this is not a knocking Strats video, so if you're looking for that, you can already tune yourself out. No, this is really talking about from a recording standpoint, why for me as a recording artist and engineer, a Strat doesn't quite fit with my program. And what do I mean by that? The single coil tone that comes out of a Stratocaster is very distinct. It has a very chimey quality to it that whether I'm listening to Buddy Holly back in the 50s or fast forward to Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, when that first chord strikes, I generally know that it is a Strat because it has a very distinct sound to it. Now, for an artist and a writer, this could be attractive because maybe the Strat tone, the Strat sound, is key to the type of music that you're writing. But in my case, I actually have to compose a wide variety of styles of music, and the guitar parts, generally I like to keep them as universally interchangeable as possible. In other words, if I use a Telecaster on a track, I could probably, if I have to re-record later on and I don't have the Telecaster handy, I could substitute with a Les Paul actually. I demonstrated in my last show that there's very little difference in tones there, especially in the neck position between those two guitars. So if I, on the other hand, had used a Stratocaster and I had to do some, go to the studio and do some replacements and I didn't have a Strat, then I would be SOL. I'd have to re-record the whole thing all over again using a Les Paul or a Telecaster. And that's actually something that's happened. It's a real life situation that I speak of where I didn't use a Strat, thank God, but I did have to go back in and recut some parts. And again, you know, from my standpoint, it's too distinct of a flavor. It's too distinct of a sound. The second thing also is, I don't know why it is, but you can get a lot more dig out of a Telecaster certainly out of a Les Paul when you plug it into a Marshall. Have you ever tried plugging a Strat into a Marshall stack? It's a very thin, anemic sound, and that's not really great either because, again, I can go from clean to heavy with a Tele or a Les Paul through a Marshall stack and achieve a pretty good similar results, certainly better results being with the humbucker guitar, but the Telecaster is no slouch in that department either. The Stratocaster is. And it's just something that is, in other words, I'm not saying it's a one-note thing because, again, Buddy Holly is a whole lot different than Stevie Ray Vaughan in terms of what they got out of a Stratocaster. However, it is along a similar vein, and it is something that, for me, again, for my purposes, my intents, I found that it's too distinctive a sound. Now, if you're a recording artist, like I said, and you gravitate towards this Strat sound, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It has been used on countless millions of hit records. Well, I don't know millions, but quite a few hit records you can point towards the Strat. And that's okay. And so therefore, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it may not be for you. But do be aware of the things that I just mentioned. One other thing, and this is my one pet peeve against the Strats, is the fact that you have only one volume knob. At least in the case of a Les Paul, you have volume and control knobs to control both the neck and the bridge humbucker, and you can do a lot of cool things with that. For example, you can set your neck pickup on a clean, low volume and have your bridge set up on, just ready to blow the roof off, and with a flick of the toggle switch, you can go from clean to distorted gain tones in a really cool way. You can also do that strobe light thing as well. Can't do that really on a Strat. So, and you're not going to get that variety of tones either that you can get out of that kind of setup where you have separate tone and volume knobs. So again, that's my one personal pet peeve against the Strat. However, again, like I said, I do enjoy listening to it when other people play it. And I do enjoy the music that has been made with it. So just because it's not for me, just because it's something that I don't gravitate towards doesn't mean that it is not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean that that thing should be overlooked or rejected. No, you got to walk your own path. And in my path, it really has come to the Fender. Yet another, they were both designed by Leo Fender, but it's been the Fender Telecaster that actually for single coil tones has been my go-to guitar for most of my life, all of my life since I've been playing. And I can't see that changing. The Les Paul discoveries that I've made over the last decade in terms of the tonal quality that I can get out of humbuckers has also been a revelation, and it's something that fills a void that I pretty much well got covered with those two guitars, and a Strat is not really going to add anything to that. So there are my reasons why it is that I don't play Strats. You may have your reasons why you do, or, again, like I said, everybody has their things. There's Strat players who won't play Les Pauls. There's Les Paul players who won't play Strats. There's been everything in between. I have nothing against Stratocasters. I actually like their design. It's just, again, like I said, for my purposes, from a tonal standpoint, it's a little bit too singular. So there's that. All right, guys, that's it for this week's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have not done so far, please hit the subscription button. We need to grow this channel, grow the community, and we can only do that if you subscribe. If you like today's content, please hit the like button. And if you have a comment, if you have your thoughts on Strats, again, like I've said, whether you like them or don't, whether you play them or not, and the reasons why, I would really love to hear about it. So down below in the comments section right away. And I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.